Susan Merril Thomas, welcome to Author's Voice.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great title, sort of a memoir and travel guide, but unfortunately you started writing this book at a pretty tough time in your life.
Well, it was a time when everything that could go wrong in your life just all happened to collapse at once. My 30-year marriage ended, my dog died, my close friend died, my mother died, my father developed dementia, and I had 2 surgeries, one of which was botched.
You had just retired as a teacher and you set out as a boomer to see the world. And you write about it in this book. You went to Japan, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Nicaragua. What are some of the favorite adventures that you had on these trips?
Oh, well, actually, one that's in the book that you didn't mention, something that was one of my favorites. I make many mistakes when I travel. It's always a learning experience. And one mistake, I met a new friend in Guatemala, and we decided to do a trip together. And we wanted to go to Egypt and Jordan. And I looked at all the information for Egypt. It looked difficult, so we made the mistake of going on a tour, which is not my style, and I will never do it again. But anyway, so we're on a tour. We're just miserable. They tell you what to do every minute of the day. It was horrible. So we broke away because we wanted to go to the desert in Jordan. My son had told me about how fantastic Wadi Rum is. It's where they filmed Lawrence of Arabia. So I got to talking to a woman in a castle, and she saw right away that I was miserable, and she said, "Oh, you'd like to go to Wadi Rum?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, my husband's a diplomat, and we've taken people there." She was British. And I know a guide, and I could give you his phone number, or I could call him, and he'll call you, and he can take you there. So we decided to leave this group for a few days and go spend the night in a Bedouin camp in the desert.
Wow.
And it was a fantastic and scary experience at the same time, because we really didn't know what we were getting into. I got the name of this person from a stranger, and when we first got to the desert, it got dark, and we met up with the Bedouin who was going to take us out to his camp. And we're driving along, and all of a sudden, and I heard a beeping noise, but my friend Susan doesn't hear well, so she had not heard any beeping noise. Well, the guy stopped the car, got out, and the 2 of us are in the back seat. It's dark. We're in the desert. There are no lights. There's nothing. And these 2 guys jump out of the car. Susan looks over at me, and we just, our eyes pop like, this is it. They're going to murder us in the desert. Well, come to find out, of course, it was simply that the trunk wasn't all the way down, and that was causing the beeping noise. But that was the start of our adventure in the desert. And several different things happened over the course of that time period that were funny and crazy. But I guess the best part was the stars at night when you are in total darkness. I've been in darkness before, of course, we all have, and I've been places with good stars, but to be out on this desert was incredible. There were only 5 tents. There was no one there. We stayed up most of the night just looking at the stars. It was fantastic. Got back into the tent, ready to go, finally to go to sleep, and all of a sudden I saw glowing eyes looking at me, and I started screaming in terror. Susan quick grabbed a flashlight, and of course it turned out to be a nice kitty that one of the Bedouins owned, and the kitty spent the night with me. But that's the kind of adventures that I enjoy, the unscripted things, the things that...
And you write about them, and
Yeah.
It's very witty and fun, but there's always a message, and you get very personal about these things and poke fun at yourself. What have you learned through writing this book?
Oh, I've learned a lot. It's been a good journey. I I think I led a pretty conventional, traditional life. The two kids, the house, the minivan, the dog, the whole 9 yards. And there was a certain amount of confidence I think that I lacked. I didn't know that I could, for instance, just rent a house in Nicaragua and go live there for a month. I would never have guessed that I would be able to do something like that. And I can. So I feel I've grown a lot that way. Also, my experience has been, it's so corny, it's like a Hallmark card. Whenever I get lost, somebody seems to pop out of nowhere to help me. I find that the more scrapes that I get into when I'm out traveling, the kinder people are. And that has been so interesting to me to learn that, the people of the world are pretty wonderful. And I don't want to sound like a Hallmark card because that's not my style, but that has been my experience. It's been great.
And you're writing another book.
Yes, I am. I've had more adventures, some fairly crazy stuff in Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and other places. So yeah,
But for now, the book is Roast Peanut Buttered Squid. And by the way, where can you get that?
Well, it is a favorite snack item in Korea, and it's again one of the things I enjoy when I travel. The little things, like I was walking. I guess I was in a park, and I saw this stand, and people were crowding around the stand, and I went over to see what was the item that everyone was buying. Well, it looked like a candy bar. It had a big octopus and a smiley octopus, and there were bubbles everywhere and swirling colors, and it said in English, don't ask me why, this was Korea, roast peanut buttered squid. And I have since learned that that is a favorite snack item in Korea.
Was it good?
I didn't have the guts to order it. I just enjoyed. I took a picture of it. I had the picture. It's just the little crazy things like that that interest me.
Susan Merril Thomas, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. The pleasure was all mine.